Hey, what's up everyone? Adam here with brahwegotthis, and today we have another build for you all. This is my new build series, my Invincible solo builds. This series will focus on taking a class and making a build that can hit hard, is easy to play, that can survive with ease, and most importantly, solo the game. The best part about this build today though is you don't need a mythic item, just like my last sorcerer build that I did last week. So welcome to my Invincible solo Dragon Knight build. Real quick, I just want to give a shout out to all my patrons and my YouTube members. Thank you so much for the support. If you'd like to become a patron or a member, check out the links below. You can check out my Discord, my Twitch, and my website, brahwegotthis.com, all below as well. We stream Tuesday through Friday on twitch.tv/brahwegotthis. So like my last build for the sorcerer, I am going to give you different item loadouts that you can play not only at a high CP level, but item sets that you can go for at level 3, level 25, level 50, and level CP 160. That way you're guided through the build from level 3 all the way to the end game part of this build. I think a lot of times players don't know what to do in the beginning stages of builds, so I want to try to alleviate that by giving you beginner setups to work towards and then have a full setup that will really make this build shine. So for the race, we are using a high elf. I love this race because it gives us a 2000 stat boost to magicka and gives us weapon and spell damage as this race. This is going to be a really nice stat for outputting even more DPS and being able to sustain in long fights. Now let's go over our stats window here. I have 64 points into magicka, and this allows us to have 33.3k max magicka roughly, and around 21.4k max health and 18k max stam. When you switch bars, it's a little bit different. So if I switch to my main bar here, you'll see I have 33k, 21.4k, and 18, but I have 62.6% spell crit, which is pretty solid. And as you're leveling this character, you just dump all your points into magicka. That's all you need to do. For the Mundus stone, we are using the Thief Mundus stone for more crit chance. You can also use the Lover for more penetration and the Shadow for crit damage. It's up to you which one you like more, but you can pick these up early in the game throughout the base game zones of ESO. They're all scattered throughout, or you can come to our guild hall. We have a few of them there on PCNA. For the food, we're using longfin pasty with melon sauce. You can use crown fortifying meal as well if you want. Moving on, what skills are we using in this build? Well, I'm going to show you the setup of the final iteration of the build, explain the skills and why they are there, and then I'm going to show you how you should level your character from level 3 to reach these skills quickly or efficiently. So starting on the back bar, we have Unstable Wall of Fire. This is a massive AoE and damage over time that's going to be fantastic. It's just going to be in your second ability here in the destruction staff. The second skill is another massive damage over time and AoE, that is Eruption. This does so much damage and it also slows enemies. That's going to be the last skill you get in Earthen Heart. It's very nice for solo play as well. The next skill is Igneous Weapons. Igneous Weapons is the second skill in Earthen Heart. This is going to give us weapon and spell damage boost by 20% for 54 seconds because it's going to give us major brutality and sorcery, which is fantastic, and the length of that is just nice. You don't have to reapply it all the time. Next skill is Volatile Armor. Volatile Armor is the first skill you get in Draconic Power. This is going to give us major resolve, which increases our physical and spell resistance, and you're going to do a ton of damage around you, so it's another nice dot you can put on enemies. So I really love this ability. The next skill is Engulfing Flames, which is a dot, but it also enhances all of our other flame abilities and helps them do more damage. This is the third skill that you get in the Ardent Flame line. I love this skill. It is a big one for your rotation. The ultimate we're using is Shooting Star here on the back bar. Shooting Star is in the Mage's Guild. It's the ultimate. It's just a solid ultimate, and it's going to do tons of damage in the area. The more enemies that it hits, you generate 12 ultimate, and so it's great to do this in big trash pools so you can get your ultimate back pretty quickly. Moving on to the front bar. The first skill is your main AoE and trash fight spammable, Force Pulse. This is going to do tons of damage in an AoE setting, and this is used in every trash pool. Okay, so this is the first skill you get in the Destruction Staff line. Second skill is Burning Embers. Burning Embers is a great damage over time, and it got buffed in this patch. You heal now for over 100%. It says you heal for 102% of the damage done with this ability, and it's instant. Okay, so it's not something now that procs when it's over. It is an instant heal when you hit them with damage. So this is a skill that you're going to primarily put on an enemy as a dot and leave it, but if you need to heal, you can spam this to get health back. It is so good, and it's going to be a skill you get the second one in the Ardent Flame. The next skill is Coagulating Blood. This is your oh crap, I'm almost dead heal. It heals you for a massive amount, but it's the third skill in the Draconic Power line. I really like this, and it also gives you major fortitude, increasing your health recovery by 30% for 20 seconds. Next skill is Unrelenting Grip. This is your main single target spammable for DK on this build. This will pull enemies that can be pulled, which is nice in trash fights, but something that Zynode taught me in one of his builds a while ago is that this skill is great for spamming. The reason being is if you look at what it does, it says if the target cannot be pulled, you restore 100% of the ability's cost as magicka. So what you do is you use this on bosses as a single target spammable, and it's actually very easy to weave into your rotation, which I will show you later. This is a fantastic skill to have, and again, it's on your Ardent Flame line. The last skill is Cauterize. Cauterize is mainly on here so we can have a slotted ability. It gives us major prophecy and savagery, increase your weapon and spell critical, but it's also a heal over time, which is really nice, so you can pop and just have it heal you in fights. Last ultimate is Standard of Might. This is just your MVP ultimate as a Dragon Knight. You're going to increase your damage done and reduce the damage taken by 15% while you're in this. It's fantastic. It's just so good, and it also debuffs the enemies as well. So I'm gonna go through the progression of skills real quick because you're like, okay, Adam, how do I get all this efficiently when I'm level 3? So just like the Sorcerer, when you come in at level 3, you're going to have your Molten Whip, you're going to have Volatile Armor and Earthen Heart and your Stone Fist skill because you always have the first skill unlocked. Then what you can do is you're gonna immediately start getting this skill. And for Ardent Flame, you're gonna level this up so quickly because you need every single one of these skills. So what I would do is just have these two on your front bar, this on your front bar, and then have this on your front bar until you get this. So switch Stone Fist out with Igneous Weapons when you unlock it. When you get to Draconic Power, you should be able to get to Coagulating Blood pretty quickly, and then just put that on your back bar. So when you have your second bar, you can just put some of these on there to level it up. And for the Earthen Heart, to get to Eruption, once you have all your other Ardent Flame lines, you can start putting some of these other skills on there to get to Eruption very quickly, because we are gonna want a lot of these passives. And so it's fine to just put and dump all the skills on the bar because you want to get to this at some point. But the other thing to keep in mind is for the Destruction Staff line, you're going to get these very easily. You get this immediately when you have a Destruction Staff, so you can put that on your front bar or back bar, and then you'll get your Unstable Wall right after that. So then after you do that, you'll level up the Destruction Staff line very quickly. That is seriously the progression. Your Ardent Flame will go by very quick, and then once you get all of them, focus on getting this and Earthen Heart abilities. Okay, for passives, you're going to want every single class passive: Combustion, Warmth, Searing Heat, and World and Ruin. This is amazing. Increases your flame and poison damage attacks by 5%. And even the Draconic Power and Earthen Heart are great because we're playing a solo build. Iron Skin increases the amount of damage you block by 10%. When you use a Draconic Power ability, or when a Draconic Power ability is active, your healing received is increased by 12%. You pop this and you need to do Coagulating Blood. That's going to be buffed by this passive right there. It's honestly fantastic. Elder Dragon, health recovery is increased by 5% for each Draconic ability slotted. So this is nice too. Increases the range of your melee attacks by 2 meters. This effect can only apply to instant cast attacks with a 5-meter range. That's nice. Scaled Armor just gives you physical and spell resistance. Again, just a great thing for solo play. Just buffs us even more. Then your Earthen Heart abilities. You have Eternal Mountain, increase the duration by 20%, Battle Roar, Mountain's Blessing, and Helping Hands. It's just, these are all great passives to have. For the Destruction Staff, you're going to want every single passive as well. For your armor, you're going to want all your light armor passives. The guild, you can get the Undaunted passives if you would like. Yeah, so for Mage's Guild, you could get all these abilities if you'd like, or passives. I mean, Mage's Adept, Everlasting Magic, Magicka Controller, and Might of the Guild. It will be nice little buffs, but it is a little bit of a min-maxy kind of thing. I mean, Everlasting Magic increases duration of Mage's Guild abilities by 20%, but that's up to you. And obviously, you want all your racial passives. Okay, let's go into the armor now. Again, I'm going to go into the full in-game build of it, and then I'll give you gear progression so you can know what to go for as you get the set. The first set is False Gods. False Gods is from the Sunspire Trial. You can do this on normal. It is a very simple trial to do, but what this does is adds crit chance, minor slayer at all times, increase your damage done to dungeon, trial, and arena monsters by 5%, more crit chance, and it reduces the cost of your magic abilities by 8%. When an enemy you recently damaged dies, you restore 2,454 magicka and gain major expedition for 8 seconds, increasing your movement speed by 30%. I love this because you're going to be killing a lot of enemies, and so you're going to get that speed boost, and you're going to restore magicka, and it reduces the cost of your magic abilities. I just think that this is such a fantastic set for solo magicka players. And so we have the body pieces here. It's all divines, all max magicka and chance. For the 2-piece monster set, we're using Ice Heart. Ice Heart is fantastic. I'm using 2 light pieces for the shoulder and head. You can get this from Vet Dire Frost Dungeon. Max magicka and divines, but this adds crit chance, and when you deal critical damage, you have 20% chance to gain a damage shield that absorbs absorbs 5,000 damage for 6 seconds. While the damage shield holds, you deal 8/3/8 frost damage to all enemies within 5 meters of you every 1 second. It's gonna occur every 6 seconds. You're gonna crit a lot because our crit chance is about 60 something percent. So it is really nice. The next that we're using is Briarheart. I was actually using something else that I'll tell you about here in a second, but I was actually liking this a little bit more. Briarheart is farmable in the overland of Hrothgar. This is going to be on the jewelry and on a Inferno staff. The jewelry does not have to be gold, but we're using Arcane and Max Magicka Recovery enchants, and for the weapons we're using Precise Trait and Weakening enchant. What it does is it adds crit chance, max stamina, crit chance, and when you deal critical damage, you increase your weapon and spell damage by 450 for 10 seconds. While this effect is active, your critical strikes heal you for 273 health. This effect can occur once every 15 seconds. So you're going to crit a lot. When you do that crit damage, you're going to heal, and it'll be really, really nice. This set pairs very, very nicely on this build, just because we can get that crit pretty high. Back bar is the Maelstrom Inferno staff. This is farmable in Maelstrom Arena. You can do it on normal if you'd like. Enchants is Absorb Magicka, Infused, and the 2 item is just your light and heavy attacks deal an additional 1353 damage to enemies in your wall of elements. Or alternative item sets or progression, okay? First off, I'll start with like just alternative ones you can use if you have them. If you don't have Briarheart, you could use Hexos Ward. Hexos Ward is another great one because when you do critical damage, you're gonna get another damage shield. I just didn't use it. I didn't really need it with Iceheart because we're already getting a damage shield. Another thing you can use if you don't have the Maelstrom Inferno staff is just using the willpower weapons here as a staff, so you can get these from doing dungeons and just various other things. It's just gonna give you a max magicka boost as well. You're gonna get 1752 just for having on the back bar. That's your alternative there. And if you really need help on healing and you just can't seem to survive with this, then you can use a Ring of the Pale Order. Just swap out one of the jewelry pieces and then either put another piece of Briarheart on the shoulders, or take off Briarheart completely, use Hexos Ward to give you that extra shield as well. But I really think you'll be fine without Ring of the Pale Order. Those are just some alternates. But for gear progression, the gear that you can go for first, when you come in at level 3, okay, there's a few item sets that you can pay attention to. Julianos, Twilight's Embrace, and Mother's Sorrow. You're obviously not gonna be able to craft things for yourself at level 3, so if someone else can craft any of those for you, that would be fantastic. If not, it is okay. But as you're going through the game, when you get to City of Ash 1 in dungeons, you can start farming a little bit of Burning Spellweave, and you can start farming Mother Sorrow if you'd like in the Overland of Deshaun. Now when you get to 50, you should be able to make some of those crafted sets. So again, I would either go Julianos, Mother Sorrow, Twilight's Embrace, or Burning Spellweave. And then CP 160, you should definitely be able to craft if you've been researching Julianos and Twilight's Embrace. Once you have a full set of each of those at CP 160, then you can start farming for Briarheart Overland or Hexos Ward Overland in the Deadlands, whichever one you want to go with. Once you get that, you could go for Iceheart probably for Vet Direfrost Keep. And then once you get that, you could do a trial in Sunspire for the False God's Devotion. You can honestly do the trial at CP 160, but I'd like you to have at least a full armor setup before you do that. But then you're good to go. You have the armor sets. Now time to get into the CP. Again, I'll go through some progression with you. Again, the CP setups are something you can interchange if you like, but this is what I was finding was working for me. So for the blue, we're going 15 to Fighting Finesse, Deadly Aim, Biting Aura, and Thaumaturge, so we're slotting all of those. And then all these other ones are just points that I have left over, trying to max out everything that I can. But initially, you only need to think about 140 CP to get to this point. So what you want to do is you want to put 10 into this, you want to put 10 into that, and then you can start putting points into here. You go into this, you put 10, and then you can put 20 into that, back out, and you should have this. I actually think you can just do, let's see. Yeah, all you need is 10 into that. So 10, 10, and 10, 30, and then you have access to all of these. So then you're good. You can just start putting points to that and then filling out everything as needed. Next for the red tree. Okay, the red tree, we're slotting Rejuvenation, Survival Instincts, Bloody Renewal, and we're slotting Sustained by Suffering. These are all really good CP stars in my opinion. And for this one, I'll show you the progression as well, so you know exactly what you need to do. So I'm gonna clear it. You gotta put 10 into this, and you already, or 15 into that, sorry, and you already have access to this, so you'll need 10 into this, and then you can start putting into Sustained by Suffering, which will increase your health, magic, and stamina recovery by 30 per stage while under the effects of a negative effect, which you will be in a lot. You put 10 into this, and then you have that access to this, and you also have access to this, and then you already have access to this. So it's really simple to get these CP stars. By CP 160, you should start being able to work into this already. For green, it's always up to you. just because it's a preference in my opinion. Okay, so now time for the rotation. It is a very simple rotation, but again, this is a solo build, so it's not cut and dry. You're going to have to improvise. You're going to have to cater it in certain fights to different things, but I'm gonna give you a general rotation, okay? So what I like to do is you start out on the back bar. Obviously, you're gonna use your igneous weapons. That has a 52-second buff. And then you're gonna go Wall of Elements, Eruption, and then Engulfing Flames, Volatile Armor. And you wanna use Volatile Armor when you're around them. You switch bars, use Searing Strike for the dot. And then if you're in an AoE setting, you're gonna spam Force Pulse, okay? So light attack, force pulse, light attack, force pulse, light attack, force pulse. Okay? You'll switch bars back. You'll use your Wall of Elements, Eruption, Engulfing Flames, Armor, switch back, force pulse. Make sure you use your Searing Strike as well. Force pulse, force pulse. So if you're in a single target affair, you're going to go Igneous Weapons, Wall of Elements, Eruption, Engulfing Flames, Armor, switch, you're gonna go Searing Strike, and then you're gonna use chains. Light attack, chains. Light attack, chains. See how it increases our see how it recovers our magic 100%? Light attack, chains. Light attack, chains. Light attack, chains. You should never run out of magicka. Now, if you need to heal, your oh crap heal is your coagulating blood, and then your heal over time is cauterize, okay? That's a rotation. It's really, really simple. It's something that you should be able to do with ease. But you just have to practice it when you get in fights. It's going to be easier to practice when you actually do content. So don't, you can sit at the dummy if you want and hit the target dummy, but it's really going to be better to practice it out in the world so you get different things thrown at you. And if you guys like this series, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, heavy attack that bell icon to stay up to date on all the content in the channel. I have a sorcerer solo build as well in the channel. I'll put it in the cards above, but I really enjoy making this. I'm going to have one for every single class, but just remember y'all to check out all the social links if you get into the patrons and YouTube members, and check out our website, brahwegotthis.com, and the Twitch channel as well. But until next time, y'all, just remember to have faith, be great, and I'll see you on ESO.